Are the old damage numbers from before Chapter 2 Season 4 back in Fortnite? Well, yes, but the answer to that question is much more complicated than you would think. This all started a few days ago when I was 1v1ing on one of my maps. It didn't occur to me until my opponent said, "Oh look, the OG damage numbers are back." I paid attention to the next shot, and sure enough, the old satisfying numbers popped up. The damage numbers are another one of those things where Epic reworked something iconic for no reason. I never hated it as much as the movement change, but it was pretty unnecessary. The old numbers were larger, clearer, and had a font with personality. To see the old numbers on my screen again was exciting because this could be a sign that Fortnite could be finally moving in the right direction by going back to the game's roots. My first thought was, this is happening because I am using the OG version of the pump. Creative has two legendary pump shotguns. The current one that deals max 185 and the OG one that deals 220 max. My maps usually use the OG variant. I went to the weapon wall, grabbed a standard weapon, and dealt damage. Wait, what? It still uses the old numbers? This is where things start to get interesting. Next, I tested a map that wasn't mine and didn't use OG weapons. The damage numbers were not OG. Something was different about certain maps which caused the OG numbers to appear, and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I decided to begin extensive testing. First off, I did absolutely nothing to my maps for the numbers to show up. They simply appeared after the last update. I looked all through island settings and there was no option. I looked through my player settings, especially the HUD, and there was nothing. I needed to investigate deeper. In the intangible 1v1, you spawn with an OG shotgun. A theory I had was if you spawn with an OG weapon in your inventory, you are locked into old numbers. During testing on PC, I had old damage numbers, but on my PS5 alt, I didn't. So maybe they only show up for PC players? Or there's a graphics setting that only PC players have access to? After that map, I went into the map I recently updated, Cyber Tunnel. The same exact thing happened. PC had old numbers, PS5 did not. I thought I was onto something, but during the next test of my Frozen Lake map, both platforms had old numbers. What? My brain hurt after that one. If there were a setting causing these to show up, it would not be so inconsistent. I tested Midnight Ocean City next. This was not made in UEFN and did not have the OG shotgun like the other maps. Neither platform had old numbers. I tried shooting the bots in my free build training map and again, no old numbers. That map did have the OG shotgun, creating another inconsistency. The strangest test yet was my Retro Wave map. This one used the 185 pump version. Both platforms had OG numbers. In fact, the next three maps of mine after Retrowave used the 185 pump. All of them had OG numbers on PC, and only one of them did not on PS5. I also tested out one of my private non-UEFN maps, and there were no old damage numbers. That was a lot, but to recap my maps, there is very little consistency. Each time I had a theory, the next map would disprove that pretty quickly. It was time to try other game modes. I wanted to test Epic-made modes. In Battle Royale, there were no old numbers. In Simpsons Reload, there were also no old numbers. In OG, there were old numbers. This was expected and has been the case for a long time. Even though Arena's box fights are similar to Creative, it did not have OG numbers. Blitz Royale did not. Epic's Legends Landing Zone Wars map did not. So none of the regular Battle Royale modes have changed their damage numbers. After recording that section, I realized that Blitz Royale does actually have OG numbers. I haven't played it too much, so I don't know if that's what it usually is, but let me know if that's changed. Next up was testing other creators' maps, since this seems to be in Creative only. I knew Go Goated did not have old numbers. I've been grinding it a bit the past week for XP, and I've never seen OG numbers. I tested 18 popular maps. All the ones I tested are on screen, but only Box PvP, Oogie's OG Movement FFA, and Altitude's OG Movement FFA had them. Altitude's was interesting because he has a system that hides the real numbers and replaces them with OG numbers, but this was glitched because his system was not getting rid of the old numbers. I suppose this means they are not registering as the regular hit markers. Could this whole thing be a glitch or a test for a setting that slipped through the update? To make things even more confusing,
What?
doing more testing attempts on my map yielded different results from my original tests. For example, on Intangible 1v1's first attempt, PS5 did not have old numbers. On attempts 2 and 3, it did. But on those attempts, if I left the game and I came back, the old numbers would be gone. I just left the game and came back after it was working, and now this is what the damage numbers look like. Those are the new damage numbers, not the old ones. So even after all this testing, this goes even further. Due to the inconsistent nature, my current conclusion is that they were testing OG numbers in Creative, and somehow bits and pieces of the test leaked through one of the updates. Since I started testing, Epic released a patch that did not change anything about the damage numbers. On screen are all of my testing results. If you guys want to do more testing and share it with me, my Discord server is in the description. And hey, if you want to play with the OG damage numbers, most of my maps have them at the moment, so this would be a great time to check them out. Just search for Intangible in the map search bar. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you want, and let me know what you think of all this in the comments.